Welcome to 7 Minutes from Central Europe, a program brought to you by the Central European Office of American Jewish Committee. Watch our exclusive interviews to understand better and learn more about what's going on in Czechia, Estonia, Hungary, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, and Slovakia. Today, I'm hosting Deputy Chairman of the Board of the Council of Jewish Communities of Latvia, Mr. Dmitry Krupnikov. It's an honor, Mr. Chairman, to have you with us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Mr. Chairman, you also had the Latvian Jewish Community Restitution Fund. And the reason I'm mentioning your other hat is Latvia has recently adopted a restitution law, and we read all over the place that this is a groundbreaking decision of the Latvian Parliament. Can you please give us the basic facts? What has been decided, what's in the law, and why is that so important?
The law is called the Goodwill Reimbursement to the Latvian Jewish Community, and the law, which we helped to draft, as well as annotation to the law, which is a separate document which explains in detail the logic behind the law, explains that neither Latvia as a country, which did not exist during World War II, nor Latvians as a nation are responsible for what happened during the Soviet and Nazi occupation. But because of the Holocaust, or during the restitution process, denationalization process in Latvia in the early 1990s, the Jewish community could not reclaim all the religious and communal properties that belonged to the community in the 1940s. In the 1930s, rather, before World War II, because in many places the communities had been totally wiped out and had not been recreated after World War II. So we compiled a list of properties, communal, religious, and hairless properties, that we had asked the state to reimburse us for, saying that these properties now belong somewhere to Latvia, in Latvia, and we think it would be fair if somebody is using them, that we get at least the tax appraisal value of these properties. The law was first tabled with the Latvian Parliament in 2005 and was not accepted by the Parliament. There was another attempt to pass the law in 2019, also failed. This time we did a lot of preparatory work, we did explanation work, we modified a little bit the law, and 64 deputies of Latvian Seima against 21 approved the law. Now the president has a window of from February 21st to March, I think, 2nd, 10-day window to sign, and it's called announce the law or publish the law under Latvian constitution. For us, I can't even find words how important it would be for the Jewish community, because it makes the Jewish community able to support itself. It would allow us to improve and expand our Jewish school, our kindergarten. We've already done a lot to commemorate the places where during the Holocaust our ancestors were killed. We also have a monument to the saviors that has, I think it's unique in Europe that we have erected such a monument, but it has run out of place. We need to expand it. We need more names put there to recognize those who risked their lives and often lost their lives saving Jews during World War II. We have also buildings which had been returned and had not been used before return for 25 years. We need to renovate them. So it's a major step forward for Latvia. For the Latvian Jewish community, also shows the extent of maturity of the society, that compassion is there, that people react and understand the pain of the Jewish community there.
Thank you for this. Are there any figures included in the law itself? Do you know how much you can expect in the coming years? What's the time frame? What's the time perspective that these reimbursements will be paid to the Jewish community? I'm asking this because I think our viewers would like to know to what extent this really is going to be a kind of concrete help to the Jewish community of Latvia.
The total value of the reimbursement under the law is 40 million euros, which will be paid out over a 10-year period in installments of 4 million a year, starting from next year's budget. The law defines the purposes the monies can be used for, and it says that the monies have to be spent in Latvia, except to support those who survived the Holocaust in Latvia, but today might be living somewhere else. This is the only exception to the law that allows individual help.
You said that the law was supported in the Seima, in the Latvian parliament. It was supported by a clear majority. More than 60 members of parliament voted for, against 20 plus who were not in favor. Can you share some thoughts about those political milieus who were not really enthusiastic about that? And also, we hear that there are some fringe groups now appealing to the president not to sign this bill into law for this to enter into force. What's your comment on that?
The letter that was written to the president, as per information that we have, was signed by the National Alliance, which is a right-wing party. Though we must note that two deputies from the from National Alliance didn't take part in the vote. This is the Speaker of the Sejm, Ināra Mūrniece, and the head of the Foreign Relations Committee, Rihards Kolts. There's a Greens and Peasant Party, which consists obviously of the Greens and Peasants, and the Peasants Party itself, not the Peasants Party in the Sejm, had also sent a letter to the president asking him not to sign and publish the law. We sincerely hope that there's nothing there that will prevent the president from signing it, because the solid majority, 64 deputies for the law and 21 against, is a very solid majority that we, to be honest, we hardly expected.
One last question would be about private property restitution. This law recently adopted is about communal property. What's the situation regarding private property?
After the independence of Latvia in 1991, Latvia had passed, I think, the most liberal law of restitution of private, even religious property in the former Soviet bloc. And the window of opportunity on returning private property was closed, I think, in 1995, and all issues had been resolved by early 2000.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for sharing your thoughts and the perspective of the Jewish community about the recently adopted law. And I hope our viewers will join us in 2 weeks. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you. You too.